U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg has arrived in Kyiv for talks on security and defense. He is scheduled to meet with the heads of Ukraine's security and intelligence services. Ukraine's president says that he has directed his military commanders to help Kellogg understand Russia's capabilities and Ukraine's prospects in the war. Now, Donald Trump says that the U.S. will send Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine and that they will be paid for by the European Union. Nearly 2 weeks ago, Washington paused Patriot shipments amid concerns that U.S. stockpiles were running low. Trump's U-turn comes after he teased a, quote, major statement on Russia. News outlet Axios reported that Trump is expected to announce a new plan to arm Ukraine with offensive weapons. If confirmed, this would mark a major shift from his earlier stance. Trump said the Patriot missiles are necessary to defend Ukraine and once again expressed his frustration in dealing with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
I haven't agreed on the number yet, but they're going to have some because they do need protection. But the European Union is paying for it. We're not paying anything for it, but we will send it. It'll be business for us, and we will send them Patriots, which they desperately need. Because Putin is really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there, and I don't like it.
Let's get more. We're joined by Fabrice Pothier, former director of policy planning at NATO and CEO at Rasmussen Gobal. Fabrice, we just heard it there. We heard the U.S. president saying that the EU will have to foot the bill for Patriot missiles being sent to Ukraine. But a few days ago, Trump said that NATO would pay. And of course, the U.S. is also part of NATO. How exactly is this going to work? Who's paying?
Well, I think for sure Germany is one of the big countries signing a check to buy the U.S. Patriot systems. I think for Trump, NATO, EU, sadly, is kind of the same thing, the same bag. I understand this is going to be, the bill is going to be paid by some EU, some European member states like Germany, but that NATO will be the one coordinating, channeling the kind of contractual procurement process up to all the way to the delivery in Ukraine.
Okay, very interesting. Talk with us a little bit about how quickly this might make a difference for Ukraine. How long is it likely to take to install these new Patriot air defense systems for the country?
Well, first, I think we need to put that in a broader context. This is going back to the Biden policy, but kind of minus, because at least on the Biden, the weapons were donations paid by the U.S. defense budgets. And here you have the continuation to an extent of Biden's military aid, but paid by European taxpayers. So I think we have to welcome this, because this is definitely the kind of systems the Ukrainians need to defend their cities and their civilian population. But obviously it comes at a cost first. Second, clearly there were already some Patriot interceptors, meaning some missiles ready to enter the Ukrainian territory just before they got stopped in Poland. So in principle, it could happen within this week that already some new interceptors could reach the currently operating U.S. Patriot systems in Ukraine. Then for entire systems, meaning the radar, the command system, the command control system, and the interceptors, that might take a bit more time because these are very complex systems. Each of them costs something like $1 billion, so it may take fairly more time.
And we're also hearing reports that Trump is on the verge, potentially, of announcing an aggressive weapons plan today. What would you expect that we might hear there?
Well, I think what we hope for is not just to have defensive systems like the Patriots, which are very critical to defend the Ukrainian population and cities, but also offensive ones, which give the Ukrainians basically some means to be able to exert pressure on the Russian war machine by being able to strike deep into the Russian territory. So we are hearing talks of potential systems that had been already ordered under Biden, but not delivered, and that could come and give the Ukrainian forces some few, let's say 100, if not plus, kilometer range to be able to go after the Russian logistic centers, command centers, but also, and very importantly, the factories that are on the Russian territory producing the Shahed drones, because at the end, economically, it's not sustainable to shoot down Shahed drones with, $1 million Patriot interceptors. It is much more strategic and interesting to shoot at the factories producing these thousands of Shahed drones.
Okay.
So hopefully we give the Ukrainians the means to do that.
And Fabrice, I mean, we have to say that, you at Rasmussen Gobal, you've been working with the Ukrainians for years. Talk with us a little bit about, because Ukraine has been calling for these longer range missiles for quite a while. What exactly would be necessary to satisfy the Ukrainian demands? What specifically are we talking about?
Well, I think it would be a good thing to start with the SPD, having a lock on the Taurus cruise missiles, which at the end, the Taurus are the best cruise missiles available short of the Tomahawk, even better than the Scalp and the British system. And the SPD is still exerting a lock on this, something that Merz had promised but cannot deliver because of the coalition agreement with the SPD. And I think this will give the Ukrainians, for example, the means to go after Russian critical infrastructure, not just the Kerch Bridge, which is more symbolic than anything, but also logistic hubs, where basically the weapons and the armored vehicles and the soldiers are being concentrated and dispatched on the Ukrainian territory. That's what you want to go after. You don't necessarily want to go after those that are already deployed and are being basically already hit very hard by the Ukrainian drones. So what you want is deep strike capabilities like the Taurus to go after the Russian war machines.
Fabrice Pothier, CEO at Rasmussen Global. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.